I got to spend time with this woman because she has an amazing book that celebrates the legacy of us. And I had her on not knowing who she really was. I just like, this is a dope book for children and I need to talk with her. And then I'm like, oh, snap. And when you were on talking about the book, you said, oh, and by the way, I'm going to be doing a remake of The Wiz. And I was like, well, when that happens, you got to come back. And then in between all of that, it's The Notebook on Broadway. Y'all, come on, The Notebook on Broadway. And now The Wiz is on. I got my ticket back in January. I bought like a bunch of them because I don't like people sitting next to me. So now I got like a whole row. So if you see, but now I got to invite people because you can't have empty seats. Yeah, because you can't have empty seats, you know, because that just doesn't look good. I'm sure the performers don't like that. But let me welcome the great Schele Williams. Oh my God. Icon, legend. And we were talking at the time about Aida, because it's the only time I ever saw Aida, and there was a guy that was annoying me to sing, and he's like, every time he was singing, but the woman was just so powerful that it blocked out the guy that was singing to me annoyingly, and it was Deborah Cox, right? And since then, she's been in the studio a lot. We've had her on. She sings for no reason sometimes. She'll just sing, which means she really loves singing, and that's something special, too. We were just talking about the art. She hasn't missed that, and she's playing Glinda.
Yeah,
which is perfect because she's goodness personified. Deborah Cox is here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
We are here. You just did a 2-hour town hall, so we're not requiring anything, but for you, just if you don't, just sitting here. But first of all, I've heard nothing but good things. People have texted and emailed and tweeted out that they've seen it. The Wiz. Mm-hmm. Kevin just went in LA.
That was our last stop. Mm-hmm. We were on a 7-month tour.
Wow.
It started back in August.
I'm gonna start with you, Miss Cox.
Yes.
Why did you say yes?
Because it's The Wiz. I had Schele called me, and I tell her this every single time when we're like either finishing up rehearsal or, I always say thank you for calling me. Because if you didn't, I'd be pissed. Had she not just said, let me just see if there's any interest. And I said, say less, I'm there. So she was like, just do the workshop and see if, how it resonates, if it feels good. And it felt incredible. The cast, the chemistry, everything.
You know how God works. So I called Deborah and I was like, I'm just swinging. Let's see what happens, right? And Deborah doesn't live in New York. And I said, Deborah, we're doing this workshop. And I gave her the date and I said, is there any chance that you'd be willing to come up? And she said, it's funny. I'm singing at Carnegie Hall that Monday. I'll just stay, as only Deborah Cox says, right? And she just happened to be in New York the week that we were doing the workshop.
Yeah.
And so it felt very, very meant to be.
Yes.
Wow.
And I walked in the room and we just started listening and hearing the piece and hearing each other. And the cast was incredible. Incredible chemistry.
Now, Lena Horne, if you believe, from the movie, right? Mm-hmm. Who are you channeling, or are you channeling Deborah Cox? And is that song still?
That song is in the show.
Because I'm like,
absolutely.
How you do that without that song? Okay, good. Whew, all right.
She saw the original as a kid. On Broadway.
Yeah, so I'm like, y'all better come.
So there's expectations.
Kevin.
Well, it's the same. Schele saw the original when it came through Ohio. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so I think you both have, there's a certain, I wish I'd seen the version with Stephanie and Andre. I know it would have been incredible, but I saw the film and I was scared. I was like, what? But then later on, I saw the film again, and then I got it and really understood it more.
That is true. It is a horror movie.
It's scary.
The Wiz is a horror. It is a horror movie. And first of all,
it is not a horror movie.
Yeah, the subway scene. If you were a little kid,
just that one scene.
I'm saying the movie, the Broadway play was not scary, but the movie. If you were a little kid seeing that for the first time, it would scare the hell out of you. Okay,
yeah.
Move on. So,
kind of like life.
Come on.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
The message of this for you, playing a good witch, which we need all of the goodness. What do you center yourself in?
Well, in the message, which is just find your center, find your truth, live in your truth, live in your authenticity. And that's my mantra in the show for me. And so I try to keep that in mind when I'm in my scenes and when I'm performing with Nichelle Lewis, who plays Dorothy. Is incredible.
It's amazing.
And
all of you are.
It's such a moving play, a moving musical. There's so many moments that you will just break down. And then there's so many moments where you will just be laughing until your belly busts.
Come on.
Yes.
And yes.
No, I wiped off my thing. I'm sorry. I touched the mic with my mouth. Those of you who know, y'all know how I get apoplectic because I'm not trying to catch anything off the mic. But I did wipe it. I wiped it down twice.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Can I say something?
What's that? I just want to get one more thing out.
Okay.
Canada in the house. I don't know if she's from Vancouver.
I heard it while you were talking.
She's from Toronto. Okay.
So you're from the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. Yes. So the Wiz reached little black girl in Toronto who was the only black girl in her class. Like I grew up as the only one that, never saw any representation. And then in the 80s, here comes the Wiz. And I was like, what? Who is that? Oh my God, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is playing the scare. And it was just opened up this world of fantasy that I'd never seen black people doing. Wow. So it was so inspiring for me.
Can we get just a little taste of if you
believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you say it's yours. The rest you got to come and watch.
Yeah.
You got to come see the show.
You got to buy a ticket for the rest.
That's it.
Come on through with that golden folk.
I mean, come on.
Thank you.
To hear that every night,
all right,
that's just getting blessed.
I'm done.
Every single night.
Are you single?
Ladies, can I just jump in for a second? I mean, when Karen asked me to guest host, and she said y'all were going to be here. I mean, first of all, I love theater, musical theater, and the singing, the acting, the choreography, the costume design, the set design, and the updating of the story. I actually feel strong. Everyone out there listening, you have to get tickets for The Wiz in New York City on Broadway. This is one of the best revivals I've ever seen in my life. And I'm a Taurus. So I don't just give out praise. We were actually born on the same day.
We got twins in the house. Twins.
Exactly. But my wife will tell you, who's taking photos right now. We were like, wow. Just wow. Just thank you. Especially given the times that we are in, we need this play and we need the way you presented it. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I've been writing about music, culture in general for a long time. I mean, we had you in Vibe Magazine when I was at Vibe Magazine back in the day. So I just thank you. Just thank you. And I wouldn't say if I didn't mean that. I just appreciate what y'all did with this. It's incredible.
Listen, being in it, I'm in it again because of this creative team. I'm in it because of Shelley's vision, her direction,
incredible
her
vision,
passion, her again, just her drive and ambition for wanting this piece to be a classic for all time. I mean, if it takes another 50 years, okay, it's cool because it's our version. You know what I mean? Yes. Because this means so much to the culture.
Can I just say something, Karen? So, Deborah, the experience that you were speaking about, being the only black girl, and then you saw the movie and it opened up your imagination. What I think is so extraordinary is you are now doing that for a whole other generation.
Yes.
Because for me, what happens so many to those of us on the margins is that the genius of white supremacy and patriarchy is that it limits our imaginations. So we don't even really get to think about, I could do that. And now you're going to inspire a whole generation of girls that are going to go,
that's right.
I can do that.
I can do that.
And also, let me just say, I'm sitting 16 inches away from Deborah Cox. This woman has no pores. She is flawless, and she looks better than she did decades ago. Let me just say that.
Let me tell you something about a team.
Stop it.
A team, a hair and makeup team.
There is no team that can do that, my love. There's no team.
That's your face. Your face is facing today, okay? You came in with the face. And speaking of faces facing, Schele Williams, and I parrot everything that Sophia Chang just said. Kevin Powell is here as well. Grocery shopping with my mother. The album and the book, get both of them.
Emmy nominated.
Yeah, the Grammy.
Excuse me,
Grammy.
Grammy
Congrats
nominated.
on that. That's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
All of it's coming. Grammy Award winner, Deborah Cox. Here, I'm gonna give you Grammys.
No, I was just going to say I followed you as well, so I'm very familiar with your journey.
Thank you.
And it's incredible.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just want to sit in all of this. This is beautiful.
I want to bring a bunch of kids to see it. That's what I want to do. Let's talk about this, Karen.
Yeah,
I want to bring a bunch of kids to see it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down. Let's buy. I feel like the ticket's gonna be like Hamilton all over again. Y'all messing around. Y'all better get these tickets early. I bought mine in January. I was like, and I just looked, and it's like the whole thing is sold out on the day that I'm going. So okay. So for you though, it's The Notebook. It's Aida. You're a Black woman in this space that is not dominated by Black, but Black is coming to Broadway. Is the great Black way. It used to be the great white way or something. It's we bring that now. What has been the biggest obstacle for you being in this space, and what's the greatest joy that you have being Schele Williams in this space?
The greatest obstacle is this space imagining me in it. You know, there's only been one other Black woman who has directed a Broadway musical in history, and that's the great Vinette Carroll.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And that was in 1976. So I'm the second, and it has taken 48 years to have another Black woman. However, there have been so many stories about Black women.
That's right.
Not written by Black women, not directed by Black women, not choreographed by Black men. So it's you know, as we begin to tell our stories, it's important that we're centering it on the truth, that we have a say in how we are presented. We have a say in the impact that we are making in culture, because that's what theater does. It changes hearts and minds. So it's really important to me. You know, there's a theme in all the stories that I'm working on. You know, Aida, the lead of that is a Black woman. The Notebook, in our version,
That's right.
2 of the alleys are Black, and the older Noah is Black. So as we are beginning to imagine ourselves in new spaces, it's important that we have people behind the table who are telling those stories with authenticity.
This is so powerful, because when you said that, 76 is when For Color Girls premiered on Broadway, but that was a male director. You're absolutely right. Thank you for giving us that history, especially Women's History Month, because a lot of us don't even realize this. So thank you. Thank you.
Now, there have been women who've directed plays on Broadway,
Right.
but not musicals since Vinette Carroll.
Wow.
48 years.
Now LaChance is going
Producing?
from. Come on, she's coming through.
That's my sister.
Oh, and I love the sisterhood, because, you know, we were talking earlier about the competition, you know, the way, you know, the structure is you know, to divide us. But you're doing just the opposite, which should be the model for success, because you get here because of the collaboration, and you're able to, you know, call in 10, 15 years down the line. Hey, hi. Are you busy, Deborah? Can you come through? And the answer is going to be yes, because it's you.
It's all about relationships. It's all about how are we lifting each other up, you know, holding each other when we need it. You know, LaShawn's is a mom. I call her sometimes and I'm like, girl, my girls. She's like, I got you. You know, I mean, really, how are we supporting each other when we don't have jobs? How are we showing up for each other? You know, not just in the moments that we want to celebrate each other, but when are we making those phone calls when I haven't seen this person for a while? What are you up to? You know, I have a show. You come with me to this show tonight. You know, how are we just continuing to make sure that we are seeing each other and not just on the good days?
What did your valley look like, Schele Williams? The period of time when they weren't calling you.
It was rough. You know, I started a career all over again. You know, because I was an actor. And I was kind of at the top of my career, and then I became a director, and it was like nobody knew who I was anymore. And that was rough. it was rough to go back to, being an assistant and working for free and asking people, can I assist you on this? Can I just observe? After having like your own dressing room, like it was really, it was incredibly humbling. And I started directing in 2004 when AIDA closed, and it has taken me 20 years to get here.
Oh my gosh.
And it has been so hard fought. But I know when I stood on that stage on the opening night of The Notebook, I'm like, I earned every bit of this.
That's right.
I earned every bit of this.
How did you not talk yourself out of the success that you're experiencing now? Because I feel like at some point when they don't call you, we were going through, my business partner Ron is here. I was out of radio for 10 years, and I actually was told that no one wanted to hear me on the radio. They actually told me that, right? And I was like, that's hurtful. Okay. But there's something for me. I'm like, I'm going to prove to you that you're wrong. And that drives me. I love you telling me what I can't do.
Right.
Okay. So you're worried about the same thing. I'm like, you about to find out why you going to need this. Yes.
Yeah. I had a teacher. I took a gap year. So my senior year, I had been a musician up until my senior year, and thought I was going to go to college for playing drums. And then I got I was Dorothy in The Wiz, and I went, oh boy, it's nice up here. Like I was usually in the pit, and this was really nice. And then I had a conversation with my parents and said, I actually don't want to go to college for music. I want to turn down the scholarship, and I want to go into theater. But by this time, it's February of my senior year. All the colleges had accepted people. I had to take a gap year. My parents were like, you're going to work at the mall. I was an honor student. I had a teacher who said to me, she said, where are you going to college? And I said, I'm taking a gap year and I'm going to audition to theater school next year. And she said, oh, I thought you were going to be something.
Wow.
No, she did. Oh, yes, she did.
Wow.
Yes, she did. And I was like, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Award-winning Schele Williams.
Ooh, right. Manifested.
Yes.
Manifested.
Listen, I speak it into existence every day. We got Grammy Award-winning Kevin Powell. We got Emmy and Oscar-winning Sophia Chang, and of course, all of the things. The EGOT herself, Deborah Cox. I saw you. I'm seeing you. First Wives Club, Station 11. I'm seeing you in these things, and you're awesome.
Thank you.
Beyond the singing, y'all heard the voice. But it's more than that, right? The pivot, was that part of it too, in terms of like never being idle, never having people to call you? Is it?
It's about. I've always been ambitious, and I can't turn it off. My family knows that about me. That's just how it's always been. So when you say that you took a gap year, I remember I went to college for a week. And when those teachers went on strike, I auditioned for Mama, I Want to Sing. And I got the role, and I was a swing. I didn't realize it, but it was, you had to know that role. I was like, that was a swing. And it was only because the lead girl at one point got sick or whatever, and then I ended up doing it the time, and then she ended up getting another job, and so they just, you know what I mean? So it's just like moments like that just happen, and I didn't realize it. Now that I look back, I'm older now, I can kind of see and connect the dots, and I go, this has always kind of been in my path, musical theater.
You asked a question. You said, what gets you through the dark times? It's because, for me, it's all about faith. My life is beyond my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw this blessing. I thought I was going to be here. I always thought I was going to be an actor. I never saw directing. And that's why people say, what's next? I'm like, I don't know, but I know I'm getting prepared for it now.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. So when that door presents itself, I'm like, I'm ready.
Prepared,
so,
yeah.
I just, my life has taken turns that I never, ever saw. Yeah. And so when I'm sitting in a moment that feels like a valley, I'm like, oh no, we're about to reap a harvest. This is sowing season.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the moments that we sow.
How do you know that though? Was there something, because sometimes we can't see a thing unless it has happened, right? So when did it first happen for you? It's like they say millionaires, if they lose their money, they can always come back because there's a internal blueprint for how to do it again. So when was the first time that you knew that that was a blessing, that was preparation for the next?
I've always just had a light. You know, I've never been a person who can sit in sadness. I've always been hopeful. You know, I've always sought goodness, whether it's in people, whether it's in, you know, I'm never still. Like I'm always doing something. You know, if I don't have a job, I'm volunteering somewhere. You know, I'm just like,
or
so I'm
writing a
always
book.
surrounding myself with things that are filling me up in some kind of way. So, you know, I'm not sitting around waiting for opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And is that what you both model for your children, you know, as you're juggling these amazing, huge careers and at the same time having to be mommy?
Yeah.
What is that dance, Deborah?
It's not even a juggling act. It's just finding, prioritizing, and then just juggling it all. If a ball drops, it's okay. Just accepting what is. It is what it is. Just being in the moment, I find, is really, really important. Staying present and doing what your task is for the day. I
have a question, because it's been a conversation I'm sure you both know for the last couple of years about Black women and work and just being expected to be everything for everyone. What do you do for your self-care? Like, what do you do to take care of yourself, to give to yourself as you're giving all this to everyone else, including us? It's great work. What do you do for yourselves?
I try to find moments to just. I was like, I don't even know what that word means. People say self-care, and I'm like, who has time for that? Like, I don't know what that means.
How about what's your joy spot? What's your joy? What's your joy? That's just for you.
Come on through.
Find a spa,
spa,
or just a quiet time by the beach. I live in Florida, unfortunately.
No. Let's say
the politics, yes, no,
because it's temporary. That's temporary, light, momentary. He will be gone, and the people there are still beautiful.
This is true. This is true. But I love the, the sun, the beach, all that. That's, if I can get a little moment there, even if it's just a half hour, that's how I recharge.
Yeah, I'm so simple in my life. Like, I just like to hang out with my kids and play a game with my husband and my kids. Like,
what y'all playing? What y'all playing?
Oh goodness, we have a huge closet. I'm trying to think of it's a game. The game I like the most is a game that takes place in Portugal. It's I'll remember it in a second. You asked me too fast. Okay, because it's so good.
I'm like, we're Monopoly.
Monopoly.
I was like, we're Monopoly.
No, Scrabble.
Azul. Thank you. See what? Azul.
And there's 3 versions of it.
I gotta look that up.
Azul is the best.
Look it up. Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
All right.
So
what are the rules? What's the object of the game? Because I come from a game house too. That was the one way in which my family connected around cards.
Yes.
And Monopoly, which my father cheated at. I can't get over it though. He bought a whole other set and then would put the $500 in his pocket, and we're like, "How's he keep having money? How's he never broke? I know he should be bankrupt by now. Pocket full of money.
Pocket full of money.
It's crazy. All right, yeah. All right. So what's this Azul? What's the object?
So you've got this card, and you've got all these tiles. And you roll the die, and depending on what it shows, you kind of pick up the tiles, and you're trying to create grids. Like, it's got a grid, and you try and get the tiles, and it's all about points. And
what's the object? Are you building a city?
You're getting points. You're getting points. It's just strategic game, and you're trying to think about what tiles other people aren't going to get, because there's only so many of certain ones and patterns, and it's a strategic game. It's fun.
Azul.
Azul. It was like the #1 game for 2 years. I'm just saying.
All right, y'all. Very good game. I'm just going to suggest Monopoly. I'm just going to keep
That's too long.
Okay.
I can't sit
Maybe
through
Jenga.
Yeah, Monopoly is long.
never ends.
I am like Jenga. I have impatience for Monopoly. It's too long for me.
I see it.
But that's joy. That's joy.
Yeah.
That's joy. Family time.
Yes,
that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
And
if we don't have a lot of time, we play Boggle. We just
no Uno.
I just want to laugh and look at people's faces and not be around any kind of devices. I want to.
That's important.
Just create memories.
All right. How much do y'all hate the tour? Somebody should say
We're
it.
happy the tour is over.
At a 2-hour town hall, and then you sitting in here with me, which I would let y'all go because I feel like y'all tired, and you should, even though y'all look beautiful, y'all putting on a good face. But I know what that looks like. So for you, this is the tough part, right? Going around and talking about the thing. you know.
I love press days. I love being able to talk. I do.
What?
No, I do. It's because I know what is required in order to get the word out. And I know for shows like ours, we can't just take for granted that butts are going to be in the seats.
Yeah.
People have to know about it. So I don't take anything for granted. Even though we were on the tour, everybody said, well, we're going to Broadway. We are not in the theater yet.
You got that right.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. So
we are not in the theater yet.
So what I'm going to go see is still part of the tour?
No. We've done the tour.
Okay.
LA was our last stop.
Okay,
Right.
so
Yeah.
next
We've done
week.
13
Next
cities.
week.
Next
Oh, yeah,
week.
we're here
We're
Friday.
invited.
Friday's
Friday.
our first
That's what I'm
premiere.
saying. I got my tickets.
Yes.
All right. So
Oh,
now
yeah, no,
that's
you're
official.
good.
All right.
It's official.
So I know runs happen like, you know, you get almost like re-upped after a certain period of time. So what do you need to have happen? Because like books, it's the pre-orders. I always tell people, come in, the pre-order your ass off. Let's
Right.
go opening day. What do you need the first few weeks for them to say, okay, this is next? What is necessary?
Advanced ticket sales.
Yeah,
If people want to go, get those tickets right now.
Yeah.
Get those tickets now.
Yep.
You know, get your friends together,
Yeah.
get your school group together. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's what it takes for people to say, "Oh, this has got some staying power."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kevin and I, we got to talk off mic so we can get. So how do we do that? How do we commandeer 100 tickets? Kevin, you'll coordinate.
We're going to coordinate,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
in the movie.
We'll
We're going to coordinate. We're going to coordinate.
Yes.
We're going to coordinate.
You go right on that
coordinate.
website and it has group sales.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
somebody's
okay.
got some kind of church group.
We need
or,
church
you know.
groups.
Yes.
We need fraternities and sororities. Shout out to the alphas. I got to say that.
Qs too.
Q's too. All right, your
Yes.
father.
Deltas and AKAs.
But seriously, Google buy tickets for The Wiz on
Sigmas.
Broadway, y'all. Everyone
Yes,
that's listening,
Mark,
if you got people in the metropolitan New York area, make sure they come see The Wiz. Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, support The Wiz on Broadway. Buy advance tickets. It's excellent. I've seen it. It's excellent.
I won't just say yes. I need you to do more and say less. I won't just say yes.